Good morning, Central Georgia. It's June the 13th, and the time is now 6:30 a.m. Thank you all so much for joining us. I'm Wanye Rees here alongside meteorologist Alex Forbes, and we've been talking about it all morning. Not only do we have the threat of severe weather today, but this is also going into tomorrow as well.
We are going to be running on caffeine in the Weather Center through Thursday afternoon. It looks like we're going to have multiple rounds of strong storms that could produce large hail and damaging winds here in Central Georgia. There's the National Fairgrounds this morning down in Perry. We are talking about overcast conditions there right now. Across Central Georgia, 67 in Macon, 68 in Warner Robins, 73 in Cochran, 70 in East Bend, 72 in McRae, and 73 in Soperton. Now, we are mostly quiet this morning. One small exception down into southern Dooley County, northern Crisp County, into Wilcox County, one small shower, and that is about it. But today, a level 2 risk for most of Central Georgia, the threat of damaging winds, but that threat of large hail is going to be a problem today. The Storm Prediction Center has outlined most of our area in what's called a hatched risk. Now, this means that hail could potentially be greater than 2 inches in diameter. That is bigger than golf ball sized here in Central Georgia, potentially getting close to tennis ball size. That's just over 2 inches. So going to be watching for that today. 86 the high temperature. Storms come later in the day. We're going to talk a lot more about the timing, which is hard to nail down, and the additional rounds coming after this, coming up in just a few moments.
Thank you, Alex. There's a major traffic shift that could impact your commute. The roundabout project on Highway 247 and 11 will move into a new phase of construction. That means this morning 2 lanes will close, 1 northbound left lane on Broadway and 1 southbound lane on 247. Houston Avenue will also be closed at the intersection. GDOT says signs and message boards will warn you of the changes as you approach. Right now, there is no expected end date. Peach County Coroner Kerry Rooks says a Barnesville man is dead after a car crash just north of Byron. He says 29-year-old Frederick Walker was driving on Highway 49 around 8 yesterday morning when he crossed the center line and hit a vehicle head-on. Walker was taken to a local hospital where he died. Bibb County Sheriff David Davis says crime numbers are on the way down in West Macon. The sheriff made the announcement at the West Side Neighbors United meeting.
We just got a $1.6 million grant from the governor's office from the state of Georgia.
That money is going towards tag reading flock cameras. The sheriff says that will help them track suspects throughout Central Georgia. As for crime hotspots brought up by the people at the meeting, Davis says they're working on surveillance methods for those hotspots, but he is asking people to give his team some more time. He says they are getting ready to shut down M&M Food Mart again. The county has called it a magnet for crime. The store actually closed last year, you might remember, but later reopened with new regulations. Davis says the store isn't following them.
But they had conditions. They had to close up at 11 o'clock. Well, guess what? They ain't.
Sheriff Davis told the group if they feel his deputies aren't responding to a scene quick enough, they can try calling his personal number and keep calling 911 multiple times. Last week, some neighbors in Crawford County were notified about a granite rock open mine possibly coming to the area. We talked with the county planning and zoning to learn more about the proposal and some neighbors who are worried about what it could bring. Along Highway 22 in Crawford County, you'll see signs lined up not supporting the project. Crawford County Planning and Zoning Administrator Jake Watson says Cottondale Partners applied for a special exception to operate a granite rock operation. Watson says throughout Middle Georgia along the fall line there is a geological formation with plenty of granite. The company that wants to dig, they want to process the rock to sell and use it for gravel for roads, highways, and rock for retaining walls. Camille Deckard is concerned about the environmental impact and their quality of life.
When you're blasting, you're putting silicone dust in the air and it's microcrystalline. It can be absorbed into you breathe it in, it can get in your blood and your lungs, and it causes irreparable damage.
The county is also working with the Environmental Protection Division on state mining requirements. This Thursday, there's going to be a public hearing with the Planning and Zoning Commission. The meeting is going to be happening at the Crawford County Courthouse at 6 p.m. The mayor of Allentown says they are continuing to see mail service problems there, but he says there was a short-term improvement after we reported on the problem earlier this year. Allentown Mayor Charles Brock says they've been dealing with unreliable postal service pretty much since the start of the year. He says it's all because of the spotty or sporadic time frame someone can get to the town to work in the Postal Building, which opens for an hour or so at different times on different days. It's an issue, especially hitting people hard that get medicine by mail or when it comes to paying bills.
I do have a few bills that I do have to send by mail, and I know now that I have to send them a week earlier than I used to.
The mayor says it will likely be September or even later before they can get someone in to manage the Allentown post office. 6:36, we're learning just how more than $1 million of grant money could make a difference in public safety in the city of Dublin. The money is part of an $83 million grant announced by Governor Brian Kemp last week. Dublin Police Chief Keith Moon says the goal is to get technology straight to the officers and help fight burnout. Moon says for the patrol division, the department requested laptops, printers, and mounts. He says it helps give officers access to records management systems and other technologies used to fight crime, plus new body cameras and taser equipment.
There's a device that goes on their gun holster and their taser. If they draw their gun, their body cam automatically comes on. If they draw their taser, their body cam automatically comes on. There's no manual operation of it.
Lawrence County also got a grant for about $1.5 million for a K-9 unit and equipment. To your state news now, Governor Brian Kemp is getting ready for a trip overseas. He's actually leaving today for an international mission to the country of Georgia and France. This follows a similar trip the governor took last month to Israel. His office says he's there to reinforce partnerships and promote economic opportunities in Europe. His trip starts in Georgia and it will end in Paris. According to his office, this trip will mark the first time a sitting U.S. governor has visited the country of Georgia. Governor Kemp speaking out about classroom improvements when he spoke to the Southern Regional Education Board as they wrapped up their 2023 session. The governor spoke about advancements made in Georgia's classrooms over the last year, including increasing safety and security, increasing teacher salaries, and improving curriculum. The governor says the state is investing more money into education now than ever before. He also says he wants to make the process easier for parents to get certified to homeschool their kids. Well, a Kennesaw State student is representing the Peach State in a big way. Yemi Agerson is one of a small number of students from around the world awarded Apple's most prestigious recognition, the 2023 Swift Student Challenge. Yemi started coding in middle school. He also loves baseball, and that inspired that passion for the sport. Yemi's winning submission is a game that explores the intricate and high-level strategies that go into a batter and pitcher matchup.
I knew that in order to make, because I played a lot of video games, in order to make games, you needed to code, and it was just cool that I didn't have to wait until like I had like a master's degree or something. I could start now and like then, and it was just great. And like ever since then, I've been creating my own games. Anytime I had like a thought and an idea about a game, I'm like, oh, let me try making it myself.
I love that. Yemi plans to publish his app that won him the award on the Apple App Store sometime this summer. Today is your last chance to weigh in on how the Bibb School Board spends its money. The second and final hearing is tonight. Some of the key highlights of the superintendent's proposed budget involved increased salaries. Superintendent Dan Sims wants to give a $2,000 boost to certified staff, a $1,000 increase to custodians, and a 5% increase for bus drivers, bus monitors, and school nutrition employees. He also wants to hire more staff, including 17 general education teachers, to meet increased enrollment. The meeting is at 5 p.m. at the Professional Learning Center on Riverside Drive. Get ready to make some noise. The Baldwin High School Marching Band has an exciting opportunity ahead of them. They'll perform during the halftime show at the Liberty Bowl this year. It's widely recognized as a hallmark event that showcases exceptional talent from across our nation. In a release celebrating the news, Superintendent Norris Price says the invitation to perform is a testament to the remarkable talent and dedication of our band students and band directors. We are incredibly proud and look forward to supporting them. The Liberty Bowl will be broadcasted from Memphis, Tennessee in December. A company on the West Coast is helping people get around town, but they're not using any human drivers. Get a closer look at self-driving electric vehicles. Plus, the Macon Bicentennial Committee has a big reveal coming up this week. Get the details on when we'll finally hear the Bicentennial Anthem, which is being kept under wraps. But something not being kept under wraps right now at 6:40 is this weather. A great time to go ahead and download that 13 WMAZ app. because it seems like the Weather Center is going to be rocking and rolling over the next 48 hours.
That's right. And you know, whenever we have severe thunderstorm warnings, we go live on the app, we go live on the website and on YouTube. I have a feeling we're going to be live a lot over the next 2 to 3 days here in central Georgia. A little deceiving this morning though, right? A nice sunrise here in downtown Macon, a current temperature in the 60s here in Macon, 70s down to the south. Also a dry radar picture this morning. So 67 in Macon, 68 in Warner Robins, 72 in Cochran, 70 in Eastman, 72 in McRae, and 71 to get your morning started in Cordele. But we are going to be looking at an active pattern that begins really yesterday. We're kind of in a lull right now, but it's going to continue this afternoon and evening and then continue through Thursday afternoon as the front that moved through kind of drifts back towards the north and showers and storms travel along it. So into the 80s here by the noon hour. It's going to be later this afternoon where we begin to get these showers and storms to fire up out to the west. Then they move into central Georgia before sunset tonight, and as they do, they are going to pose a severe weather risk for damaging winds and then large hail as well as they traverse the southern parts of our area. So there's 9 p.m. there. They'll begin to move out right about 11 tonight. But a level 2 risk today because of that damaging winds, but that threat of large hail is going to be particularly high in terms of its size today, potentially 2+ inches in diameter for most of central Georgia. It's going to be inside this black line here where we could get 2+ inches. That is larger than golf ball sized hail, a little smaller than a tennis ball size. So going to be a threat today we're going to be watching not only today but lasting into tomorrow as well. Here's tomorrow morning, yet another round of storms. The timing on this is going to be very loose. We're very fluid, if you will, because it's hard to nail down the exact timing with these types of systems, but it does look like tomorrow morning another wave of storms on and off through tomorrow afternoon, especially down to the south. And then once we get into the overnight hours into Thursday, yet another round of storms here across central Georgia. That is 1 a.m. there, potentially a line of strong storms. And then yet again Thursday morning before we clear out for the mid to late morning hours. And then again Thursday afternoon down to the south, yet another round of potential strong storms. So we've got a lot of storms to work our way through here over the course of the next 2 to 3 days in central Georgia. Now for tomorrow, we are clipped by a level 3 risk. This is going to be for the wind and hail threat. Again, hail tomorrow could potentially be 2+ inches in diameter. That level 3 goes back into Alabama, Mississippi, and clips parts of Arkansas and Louisiana. Now, outside of the severe weather threat, we could really rack up the rainfall as well, potentially 2 to maybe even 6 inches of rain, depending on where that training sets up. Don't pay attention to the exact amounts on this map for your city. Rather, look at the pattern. We're going to be looking for that training in a fair amount of spots here in central Georgia. 86 the high today. Storms later tonight. Concerned for large hail in the next 7 days. How about 83 for Wednesday, 85 for Thursday, a 70% chance of storms both days, then into the 90s beginning on Friday. For Father's Day weekend, I do think Saturday is going to be the drier for 2 days.